Our neighbors have a very bad habit. They threw their pet cat Tishka out into the driveway. At first I thought they were just teaching him to go for a walk, but then I realized that it was a punishment for some misdemeanor. A frightened Tisha would sit at the door for hours at a time. If he started meowing or scratching at the door, he would get a broom from his mistress. I felt sorry for the poor cat and decided to teach these neighbors a lesson if they ever did this trick again. One day, when I returned from work tired and angry, I met the furry neighbor in the entrance again. He, as usual, with a sad expression on his face, sat faithfully at the door of the owners and waited for forgiveness. I don't know what he'd done, but it was usually something small, dropped something or scratched his hand when he was playing. When Tisha saw me, he stood up and gave a friendly clatter. The acoustics in the building only amplified the sound, and it was very loud. I could not resist and smiled. All the problems of the day somehow immediately disappeared. I took Tishka in my arms, and, watching him rubbing against my jacket, I realized that it was time to teach the cruel owners of the pet a good lesson. I inserted the key and opened my door and took Tisha inside my apartment. I knew that sooner or later you would bring him here. My wife sighed when she saw me with the cat. It's strange that you haven't done it yourself yet. I grinned back and, having taken my shoes off, took the poor thing into the kitchen. I poured him some milk and gave him a piece of fish. Tishka ate everything with pleasure and purred again, jumping into my arms again. The next day was a day off, and I enjoyed the screams of the neighbors in the yard for hours on end. They had gone out as a family to look for the missing cat. They called him all sorts of names, promised him all sorts of goodies and all sorts of goodies, but Tisha continued to sit in my arms, as now he sits next to my computer. He won't leave our apartment, and I'm in no hurry to give him back. I'll probably be accused of theft when it all comes out. Maybe I can get away with a scandal. But I think it's a small price to pay for the well-being of this affectionate and kind cat, who just doesn't know how to please his owners from the open spaces.